and just like kind of flushing the game at 24 hours after it happens. Why is that important to you specifically?
I mean, for a win, or for a loss, for a draw, for whatever it is, it gives you enough time to process the tape, figure out what corrective mistakes, what corrections need to be made from your mistakes made in the game. From the good plays, it gives you a little bit of reprieve, saying, hey, this is the positive of the game. But at the end of the day, it's all about striving to get better. So whether it's positives or negatives, there's always a chance that you can get better in each and every play. And these are something you have to focus on. 24-hour rule lets you, get your emotions out from the game, lets you get your mindset and focus towards the next game. So 24-hour rule has been a thing that I fully bought into probably, 9-10 years ago at this point, out of this 11-year career, and really gives you the calm of knowing that this is a 17-game season, 18-week season. But this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So you can't have this emotional roller coaster. It has to be a calm, steady, this is what we got to do to attack the game plan each and every day, each and every week.
There's like a couple of things I kind of wanted to ask you about within that specifically. What does it take to kind of to legitimately buy into that and actually kind of believe in this, and that rather having it just be like something you say? And then is this kind of like something that the team also adapts? Because you guys, the last several years, you haven't lost a lot of back-to-back games. It seems like you're pretty level as a team.
Right. I'd like to say, super early on in my career, it was the frustrations, it was the highs, the lows. It was just one of those rocky, the emotional play of a younger Cam. But in that, you seeing the vets, seeing how great veterans work, and you see the work ethic, from Drew Brees, from John Vilma, from Will Smith, from all the greats that we played with when I was younger, from Big Baby Rogers back in the day. It was just the idea that, again, this is not a 12-week college season or 13-week college season. It's a 16-game season, and now 17-game season. It's just that the continuity of being ever constant is really what sort of brings the great ones out. It's knowing that you may have a bad play, but you might necessarily not have a bad game. And after that game, it's never as good as you think it is, it's never as bad as you think it is, and there's always ways to correct and improve. And that's sort of where you get the buy-in from probably starting off saying it to then fully actually understanding it to then believing it.
Rod Walker. Hey, Cam, I know it's not a whole lot of film out on him, but what have been your impressions of Mac Jones?
He's a part of the Bill Belichick system. This is something that is a methodical offense. They have playmakers, and at the same time, they don't live and die by a deep ball. They're going to be very even and sort of try and identify our weaknesses and try and attack those. So as a defense, it's more on us and what we do, as it is every week, about trying to be better than we were the week before. And I do think, with a couple of players popping back up this week, hopefully, we'll be even stronger against the run than we were last week. And I think we had a pretty decent showing against the run, if we go by numbers anyways.
Lou Johnson.
Hey, what'd you think of Payton Turner's debut last week?
I think he showed a lot of energy. He showed a lot of grit, and he's got plenty of room to develop and grow. Without just diving into referees and erroneous roughing the passers, I think that we do have potential there. And, as the season goes on, we'll know exactly what we have. I like the way he played.
And how hard is it to, you kind of touched on it there, but it seemed like you guys had a couple calls with the just going in low on a quarterback. How hard is that to have that in the back of your mind when you're on the field?
Quarterbacks have red jerseys on in practices. At this point, they're going to have red jerseys on during games as well. And that's just the game we play in at this point. We might as well just attach a flag to their hips and just go off that. But no, seriously, this is just a part of the game that we have to play. I think it sucks to, from 11 years ago when I first entered the league, when you saw, quarterbacks sort of being fearful, being hit in the blind side, to now knowing that they're fully protected. It sort of takes away from the game, but that's the game that we're in right now. This is something we have to overcome. We've got to apply more pressure as the weeks go on.
Rod Walker. Hey, Cam, I think it was last week Mario posted something on social media about the Juice Boys. Is that a name that you all have sort of embraced, and if so, what's kind of the origin of it?
Man, I don't even know where that came from, but it's big juice. The defense got to bring the juice. Got got to have the energy. And I'll let Double D talk about where that even came from. It probably came from him and Quan, but next thing, it's been adopted already. Just is what it is. But we have to bring the high energy each and every play. You got to bring your own juice.
Amy Just.
Yeah, back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier. How can you play physically and eliminate the possibility that you could get flagged? Is there a way that you can avoid that?
Look, we have to play fast, and if anything, a penalty, we have to play faster. We'll correct penalties on tape, and we'll try and get better from that. But what you can't do is play with fear in your heart in this game. I mean, especially as a defense, when you're trying to attack an offense, it just is what it is. We had a Malcolm Roach hit on Christian McCaffrey. That was a phenomenal, interior defensive lineman getting out the stack and making a great effort play. And it resulted in a penalty, and I still don't understand it. But again, when you have guys running as fast as they can, sometimes you're not going to be able to place whatever heads-up perfect football it is. And the stipulation of that is just it's a part of the game. At that point, you only can make yourself play faster. When I think about the rules implied, at the end of the day, we still play football. People still have to get tackles. People still have to get hit. We're going to have to live with some of these and learn from a lot of them. But when you have something like 12 penalties from this last game, 11 penalties from the last game, over 100 yards worth of penalties, that's something you have to clean up. That's on the defense, that's on the team, that's on us. And that's something that has been addressed and we have to focus on for our next game. We were our own worst enemies, and we can't be that every game.